So, today I'm going to be speaking to you about comparison when it comes to progression and growth in our life. You see, we tend to have big issues when it comes to growth. It's almost like we get stuck. We either experience overwhelm, we experience anxiety, we experience self-doubt, we experience comparison to other people, comparison to what the world thinks we should be like, and our interpretation of that. It could be comparison to what our friends are doing, what our competitors are doing, if we're in work, or our employees are doing, or our co-workers. All those things, we get to this, when we're starting to make changes in our life and we're going for goals, we can get into this real stuck mode. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. And it's vital, by the way, guys. It's absolutely vital, because you'll probably be doing this without even realizing you're doing this. So please pay attention. Now is the time to wake up our minds, tuning in to this audio to be able to make the change that we desire. So, as I said, we get stuck in this idea that of comparison to what's happening and where we're going. So let's put it this way. If you have a big goal and you're comparing yourself to where you are right now, as you think of that big goal, of course, you're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel doubt. You're going to feel worried. You're going to feel scared. You're going to feel as if, I don't know how to get to go where I want to be. We get into this comparison overwhelm. And as I said, we'll get stuck in the comparison to what people think of us, and also comparison to those people in our life. So if someone's got confidence, what do? We compare ourselves to that person. If someone's purchased a brand new TV, we're comparing our TV to their TV. We get into this comparison process, and it always keeps us stuck. It rarely gives us momentum. Now, it can do, but usually that momentum comes from a place of anger or hatred. When we're comparing ourselves and we're trying to get one over someone, we get into that negative state, and that is not a good, healthy state. It can get us to where we want to be, but I do not want to experience those emotional states of negativity, because it is going to keep us stuck, or it may not keep us stuck, but it's definitely not going to make us feel wholesome, aligned, congruent with our mission and vision where we want to be in the world. So that comparison to our competitors, that comparison to other people is not going to cut it. It's not going to really get us to where we want to be. So the two present ways of what we're doing, as I just said, comparing to other people, and also the comparison to where we want to be. It's too much of a big leap, and that's where we get the overwhelm. And by the way, procrastination is not cool at all. When we procrastinate, our brain is shutting down to conserve energy. That is why we get into that no mind state, that stuck state, and that can be a symptom of the comparison. That comparing mindset will get us stuck. It's not a good state to be in. And also, when you're experiencing, say, failure, so-called failure anyway, or you're experiencing setbacks, you will go into this state of comparison. You're comparing yourself as to where you are to where you want to be. And that is very not cool. That is not going to get us to where we want to be. So if that's what we presently do, which I hope you're resonating with to a certain degree, that we are getting stuck, how can we shift our mind to a place of continued growth? You see, we're doing it completely in the reverse way. If you're comparing to others, not cool. If you're comparing yourself to your future goal, not cool. So what do? We have to compare ourselves to how we were yesterday. We have to compare ourselves to how we were last week, how we were the month before, the year before, even all the way back when we're born. We've got to compare ourselves to our progression. Not to where we're going, not to the side, as into other people in our life, but comparison and comparing to where we are now to where we've been. Now, if you do that, the chances are you're going to experience a different shift in your mind. You're going to actually come from a place of gratitude, because if you're paying attention to this right now, it means you are stepping up. It means you are learning. You're engaging your mind into a learning state, okay? So that is something to be thankful for. So if you compare yourself to where you are right now, not to others, not to the future, but to where you've been, that is where you're going to get growth. It's going to be far more resourceful. You're going to start to leverage that. And you ask ourselves, what can I learn from today as well? I mean, to add it forward, to actually get better. But really, guys, compare yourself to where you've been. And notice how much you have changed. Notice how much you have grown as a person. Notice how you're starting to cultivate your mind. Notice how you're starting to put the effort in to make the change. Like I said, the nature of listening or watching this means you're engaging your mind, which is a great comparison to maybe how you were 20 years ago or 10 years ago, or for some people right now, from last week or even from yesterday. So comparing ourselves to our past and putting our mind in that state of, okay, what did I learn from here? What did I do? How have I got better? What resources can I apply that will cause you to move forward? It builds momentum. Yesterday I was talking about like when you're pushing up a rock up a hill, it's really hard at first because usually we're comparing to other people or the future. But if we start to compare ourselves to when we're pushing up that rock up the hill, as to where we were 2 feet ago, we're thinking, well, I'm making progress. I'm getting there. I'm getting stronger. And then you push that rock higher and higher up the hill and you go, well, now I'm really progressing. If someone who is losing weight and they've lost weight, you don't always want to look at that future you. You want to also consider, hey, actually, I have lost weight, or I have worked out. I am eating healthier than I had last week. That is motivation. That is growth. So as we keep on pushing that boulder or that rock up the hill, it gets easier and easier because you're comparing yourself to the distance, the progression that you've made. You are not self-sabotaging that way. You're not thinking of all the things which could go wrong in the future. You're not getting overwhelmed by the big goal or the big picture as to where you want your magical life to be. And you're absolutely not comparing yourself to people in your life. When we start to compare ourselves to other people, we are not going to experience joy and happiness. We're going to feel more disillusioned. We're going to feel more disconnect from our being. We're actually going to get into that state of feeling low, feeling stuck, and it's not going to help us. You see, the biggest thing that people have managed to have control of us or over us in the past is to make us want to feel separate from ourselves, to need the next thing, or to compare ourselves to the big superstar or our idol or our in the media or buying things or going on holidays. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. But when we start to get stuck only into comparison, where we're just wishing our life away, or we're just feeling that negativity, or that person's got this. I've always said in my business, and I promise you this, for many years I've said this one thing. I have no competitors other than with myself. I'm only comparing myself or competing with myself as to how I was yesterday. Now, if I think of that as an attitude, I feel empowered by that. Now, of course, people could say, well, Joseph, you've got huge people in the world like Tony Robbins, or you've got all these other personal development people. If I just compared myself to him, it's not going to work. Do you know why? Because I can't be Tony Robbins. There's only one Tony Robbins. I can't be like other personal development people. And if I tried, by the way, I would look stupid. I mean, Tony Robbins is like twice the size. He's like 6 foot something odd. I'm not saying I'm 3 foot, by the way. I'm actually a lot taller than that. But you know what I mean? He's a huge giant of a man. I cannot replicate how he speaks, or his mission, or his vision. I am completely different than that. So why should I compare myself to him? So I urge you not to compare yourself to other people. Yes, admire people, notice what they're doing right, modeling excellence, but don't put yourself in the place of negativity, of comparing, disliking, worrying, either disliking others or disliking yourself due to that comparing. That is not going to get us anywhere. It's the lie that we've been told that we must be like someone else, or we must be a certain way. That creates a division between you and other people, because you're creating anger or dislike or just procrastination. And you're also creating a divide within yourself. You're saying pretty much, well, I don't want to be like me, I want to be like someone else. Or even if you think of your goal out there, the future-orientated goal, if you're going for that big goal, you're going to get overwhelmed because you're not quite there yet. It's too much of a big leap. So what did I say we do? We compare ourselves from yesterday, because there are no such thing as competitors in my world, other than comparing myself as to how I was yesterday, how I was last week, how I was 6 months ago, how I was compared to when I was 18 years old, all those things. I compare myself that way, and now I see growth. Now I see opportunity to grow further, because I think if I've grown this much, just think how much more I'm going to grow in 1 week, in 6 weeks, a year from now. That now excites me, because I'm taking what I've learned in the past, I'm taking that growth and now thinking, wow, if I've just made maybe a 20% change this week, or I've noticed something awesome in my life, that something's changed in some way, then just think what's going to happen next week. That to me is an enlightened journey on this planet. That to me is like personal growth. That is really connecting with who I am as a person. To me, that is a journey that I want to be a part of. I want to be a part of that journey of progression, not comparing. I want to be a part of that progression without self-sabotage, thinking of that big goal that I want. I mean, like I said, there's nothing wrong with big goals. I have crazy big goals. I really do. I have so many big goals that I want to achieve because I want to help as many people as possible. But if I just got tied down into helping many people as possible, and all the emails that I get, all those things, all the reviews, paying attention to all the reviews and what people are saying, all the competitors out there trying to do the same thing or trying to be different, all those things, I'm never going to do anything. I'm going to feel stuck, I'm going to feel depressed, I'm going to feel overwhelmed. And don't get me wrong, sometimes I do experience that. Sometimes I do look at my reviews and I think certain things depending on what they're saying. If someone says, oh, that didn't work, of course it's going to have an effect on me. But it does not have to own me, and it definitely doesn't have to control me. Other people cannot control me. I am in charge of my mind, and therefore my results. So why should I compare myself to the big dreams that I have because I'm not quite there yet? Why should I compare myself to others, competitors, friends, family, society's expectations of me, my dad's or my mother's or my brother's or my sister's or my child's? All those people is going to stop me be me. Now, if there's one thing I want for you is to be the authentic you. And that comes from progression. That comes from learning. That comes from growing as a person. That where it allows you to come out into this world and you just start to see the beauty in your life. You start to see the gratitude that you are experiencing because you have come a far way compared to how you used to be. Like I said, the nature of listening to this, it means that you are doing something. Now, 20 years ago, you may have done nothing. So that is a progression right there. Now, you may be experiencing the biggest issue in your life right now, or the biggest obstacle, or even one of those downtimes. So even if you're in that stress, compare to how you were yesterday, because despite that stress, despite that mountain you've got to climb, or despite that depression or that anxiety which can come over us, we have to begin to go, okay, what can I learn from this and how far have I come already? Because if I keep going, I'm going to get there. I've come this far, and I can give up now if I wanted. I could just give in to all the other people, or my competitors, or the people in my work, and all those people I've mentioned. I can do that and just give up all that I've done. I've worked hard for this. I've dedicated myself. And if you're just starting this journey, great for you, because you can take this from the beginning. You can take this into your next goal. You can take this into your next relationship. You can take this into any area of your life, whether it be now or you're just learning this. But the key is to compare yourself as to not the future, not to others over here, but to where you've been. You have learned, you have grown, and that is a beautiful journey that we all go through. But sadly, we do not think about that. We're looking for the external. We're comparing the external to our own situation. And guess what? other people's success or other people's issues or other people's thoughts for you or other people's desires for you, despite them being maybe well-intentioned or bad-intentioned, is none of your business. I hate to say it, it is none of your business to a certain degree. If people are saying things about you or want for you, like I said, they could be the most beautiful, wonderful things or the most negative things. Either way, it's none of your business. Yes, we can be thankful for them. Yes, we can take them on. But we are the chooser of that. And we have to look on the inside to compare ourselves from the past. That is my message today. That we must look on the inside. Stop searching for the outside. Sometimes people try to change the external world without changing the internal world of themselves. And I've always said, if you want results on the outside, you have to reconnect with yourself on the inside. When you put your intention and attention to the inner world of you, the inner universe of you, your unconscious mind, your conscious mind, your soul, your being, your biology, all of it. If you put your attention there for a while and reconnect with that, and as to how far you've come, you'll realize how amazing you are. That you have come to this point, that you're a survivor, you're a thriver, you're a grower, you're able to get to where you want to be. That to me is true progression. That to me is a way that we can thrive in this world. That is a way where we can truly learn and get to where we want to be. Because when we take those learnings, we get clarity. When we take those learnings, we get motivation. We get the action. We take massive inspired action. But you can't take good action, by the way, comparing yourself to others, because you're not coming from a heart place. Like a resonating place in your heart or your body. When you're comparing, it usually means you're coming from negativity, you're coming from lack of, you're coming from scarcity, you're coming from doubt, you're coming from a place of lack of. As I said, that's the key thing. We're coming from a lack of. So therefore, we're looking to others to compare ourselves, or even, like I said, the future, the big goal that we want, we're coming from a lack of because we haven't achieved it yet. And that can be one of those places where we feel stuck and we feel low and we feel small and we feel as if we can't get to where we want to be. But we don't need to do that anymore. We have to think differently. As a team, as together. I mean, there's you and your unconscious mind. Hopefully I can be involved and help and guide you there. I love that, and that's what my big vision is for us. But we have to compare ourselves to where we were yesterday, the week before, a month ago, 6 weeks ago, a year ago, 10 years ago, and embrace that you are making changes. Embrace that you are learning and you are dedicating yourself. And that to me is the biggest reward that we can have. To me, it's the biggest value is looking after yourself, because people think that's selfish. They think to look on the inside and look after yourself is a selfish thing. It is the most unselfish thing, and I tell you exactly why. When you're looking after yourself and you're making sure that you're just learning and growing and being in this world, that means everyone else in your life is going to get a benefit because of that. You're going to grow because of that. You're going to shine your light into the world. But if you're not focusing on yourself and you're focusing on others, no one wins. And that means no one gets anything. But when we start to focus on ourselves first, and we reconnect with ourselves as to where we are and as to where we've been and how we've grown and how we've got better, when we do that, other people in the world, in your life, will get to see the true you. They'll get to see an example of someone who has made a difference, who is making a difference. Even if they don't know where you're heading, even if they don't quite agree, what they will see is someone with persistence. What they will see is someone who's trying to make things happen, to do whatever it takes. And also, it's a clean energy then. If you're not comparing yourself to others, Like I said, there's no competitors in my world. I promise you that. That is a belief I go by. I'd never compare myself to others. I just compare myself as to where I am. Even as a business, no competitors in my world. I'm only comparing myself to my past and making sure I'm growing each and every day and learning and learning and learning. Life is about learning. To me, the meaning of life is to really get meaning out of life. And meaning out of life is growth. It's learning. It's experience. It's joy. It's all those things. It's definitely not comparison. It's definitely not comparing to others or the big goal or to the lack of all those things. That creates division. That creates stuck states even. We have to really learn, reconnect with ourselves, and always know if we can build upon that. Like I said, I'm going to say it one more time because it's vital. Imagine you've got this you've got this goal in your mind and you're pushing it up the hill. If you keep on looking at the end, you're going to feel daunted by what seems like a mountain. You're going to think, oh my goodness, I got so far to go. And if you're looking at the other person pushing up the same type of boulder or rock up the hill, you're going to think, oh my God, they're getting so much quicker than me. They're getting so much faster up that hill. Oh my God. And you start to panic, you start to get worried. It's never going to help you. Looking at the big goal sometimes is going to overwhelm you. It happens. Looking at other person going faster than you and stronger than you is not going to get you there quicker. But looking at where you've just come from, I actually just moved up this hill 10 steps. Now 11 steps. Now 12 steps. And I'm getting better. I'm getting stronger. I'm getting maybe not always faster, because that happens, but you're making progression. You are learning and you're growing and you are realizing how much you are growing. So I always see it as if like an extension of yourself. It's like I was this big when I was young and it kind of represents even my issues, but now I'm bigger than that. I see it as if it's like a bigger version of me that I'm always growing into, that I'm always getting bigger and stronger because I'm just learning and growing. That's what I got to say today. I hope you enjoyed that, guys. As I said, for the Mind Mastery members, if you go on to Mind Mastery very, very soon, in about, I would say in about 15 minutes, you will find the hypnotic process to help you with this. So go ahead and get onto Mind Mastery. For Mind Mastery members, if you're interested in Mind Mastery, go to josephclough.info/Mind Mastery. So that's josephclough.info/Mind Mastery, and you'll get the information there and get access to that track. But if not, utilize what I've said and keep on learning and growing, and always realize you're always worth more than that, and you're always capable, and you're always growing and dedicating. When you dedicate yourself to your progression, you're going to get to where you want to be. So, by the way, I do try to multitask and read all the messages coming in at the same time. And I am so pleased and thankful that you are responding and resonating with these videos. But while I'm reading them and speaking, sounds weird, but my unconscious mind is supporting me as always. It just motivates me and wants me to grow and to shine more and to hopefully give you as much support as I possibly can. And yeah, I'm very thankful for you guys for tuning in this evening or morning or afternoon, wherever you are. And I cannot wait to speak to you again, live on Facebook, live on Periscope. And remember, guys, there might be someone out there who actually wants this and doesn't know about it, who needs help, but doesn't know there's a solution out there. It could be the one thing that allows the person in your life or people in your life to be able to make the change that they want. So have a wonderful day, and I look forward to speaking to you very soon. Many thanks and goodbye.